Radhe Radhe to all, and I hope everybody is doing perfectly fine. So, today we'll be discussing another five set of questions, MCQs in pathology. So, let's see how we move about it. So, first question you are being asked is in myocardial infarction, which type of necrosis is seen? So, necrosis is a kind of irreversible cell death, right? Another is your apoptosis. So when you see necrosis, there are different patterns of necrosis like your caseous, coagulative, liquefactive, fat, right? Fibrinoid necrosis. So all these are different patterns of necrosis which you see. So in myocardial infarction, which you get. So let's rule out other options. First option you get is caseous necrosis. किस में मिलता है? We get in TB. Very particular for TB. Gross you see cheesy like material, and on the microscopy you see caseous necrosis. Coagulative necrosis you see in myocardial infarction. So this is what we'll be discussing, right? And liquefactive necrosis you see in brain. क्यों होता है brain में liquefactive necrosis? Because of your enzymatic reaction, right? So it basically it becomes a pultaceous type of material. Fat necrosis you see where there is a fat, like you see traumatic fat breast trauma. Then you can get in pancreatitis where there's a lipase enzyme action, so which there is a lipase enzyme when it acts, so it there is a saponification of the fat which is going on, which leads to chalky white deposits in the around the pancreas you can see, or you can see this in breast tissue also. So coagulative necrosis में क्या होता है ना कि the structure, because it happens because see जब blood flow रुक जाता है heart का, so it undergoes necrosis. So coagulative necrosis कहते हैं उसको. क्यों? क्योंकि उसका pattern जो होता है ना, solid pattern of the organ is maintained for a while, right? In liquefactive it is like a pultaceous material हो जाता है, वो cheesy material जैसा हो जाता है, right? Because of enzymatic reaction, added putrefaction action you can say. So coagulative, there is retention of the like infarct भी होता है, that is a example of your coagulative necrosis. When you see a kidney infarct, you see splenic infarct, that is blood supply is being stopped for a while and then your pattern of necrosis is maintained. The solid structure of that organ is maintained. So our answer is here. This you see in breast, fat necrosis you see in breast, and you can see in pancreas also. So this is coagulative. Our answer is B, coagulative necrosis. Then which of the following is not true about apoptosis? चलो देखो, first option programmed है. Apoptosis we know it's a programmed form of death. Energy dependent progress है process. There are many caspase enzyme which is involved. Inflammation and neutrophilic infiltration, this is a feature of your necrosis. नेक्रोसिस में क्या होता है? सेल स्वेलिंग होती है, disruption of the plasma membrane, cell membrane, and the cellular content it leaks out. It causes nearby inflammation जहाँ पे polymorphs आके action करते हैं, तो you have signs of inflammation in necrosis, right? And then correct, then this is seen in your necrosis. Then coming to your third option, shrinkage of cell and chromatin condensation, very particular for your apoptosis. Apoptosis में cell की size छोटी हो जाती है. There is no cellular swelling, no signs of inflammation in apoptosis. And release of apoptotic body, obviously when you see जो apoptosis होता है कि इसमें क्यों inflammation नहीं होता है, क्योंकि जो disrupted part होते हैं, जो they form a complete totobodies, so they don't allow the leakage of the enzyme outside the cell, correct? So that is your apoptotic body. So not true. कौन सा हमारा option is B, क्योंकि ये हम देखते हैं necrosis में. तो जो हमारा ये था programmed energy dependent वाला process is apoptosis. This is necrosis, this is apoptosis, and this last one is also for your apoptosis. So inflammation is a sign of your necrosis. Then which statement describe hypertrophy the best? Hypertrophy. This again last class I told, last lecture I had shown. This hypertrophy is what? These are basically different types of your cellular adaptation. So cellular adaptation में आता है hyperplasia, hypertrophy, atrophy, right? So these all things are the metaplasia. So all those are your different forms of cellular adaptation. So hypertrophy में क्या होता है? Increase in number of the cells. Wrong. This is your hyperplasia. ठीक है? तो आपको हर स्टेटमेंट पढ़ना होता है एमसीक्यू में. देन इंक्रीज इन साइज ऑफ द सेल लीडिंग टू इंक्रीज ऑर्गन, दिस इज करेक्ट. दिस इज योर हाइपरट्रोफी, जो हमारा क्वेश्चन है. बट लेट्स सी अदर ऑप्शन. वी शुड नॉट मार्क दिस वंस यू नो कि हाँ हाइपरट्रोफी के लिए करेक्ट है. यू हैव टू गो टू थर्ड एंड फोर्थ ऑप्शन. abnormal growth with cellular atypia is what? This is dysplasia. And replacement of one mature epithelium by another is your metaplasia. So we are landing up this option. P is our correct option, that is pertaining to your hypertrophy. फिर आता है fourth question. This is very important. Which point differentiate your dystrophic calcification from your metastatic calcification? See, when you remember dystrophic, 3 points I'll tell you. Dystrophic और एक होता है metastatic. दो तरह के calcification होते हैं. Dystrophic occur in D. D for D you can remember. Dystrophic calcification occur in dead dying tissue, dead dying necrotic tissue. Metastatic calcification occur in your normal tissue. Dystrophic calcification में सीरम कैल्शियम और कैल्शियम का मेटाबॉलिज्म जो होती है बिल्कुल नॉर्मल होती है, और ये हाइपरकैल्सीमिया होता है मेटास्टेटिक में, और एक होता है एबनॉर्मल कैल्शियम मेटाबॉलिज्म. सो ये तीनों पॉइंट आपको याद रहने चाहिए. डी फॉर डाइंग, डेड डाइंग टिश्यू में डिस्ट्रोफिक कैल्सिफिकेशन विद normal calcium levels and normal calcium metabolism. Metastatic में hypercalcemia, abnormal calcium metabolism. So now read the first statement. Dystrophic calcification is seen in normal tissue. Wrong. Metastatic calcification occurs in your necrotic tissue. Wrong. Hypercalcemia is seen in dystrophic calcification. Wrong. This is seen in metastatic calcification. Dystrophic calcification is seen in necrotic tissue. Correct. Metastatic occurs with hypercalcemia. This is also correct. So neither process is related to injury. This is also wrong. So our correct option is डिस्ट्रोफिक कैल्सिफिकेशन नेक्रोटिक टिश्यू में होता है और मेटास्टेटिक कैल्सिफिकेशन नॉर्मल टिश्यू में होता है. Then coming to the last question for today, this is a patient with chronic gastritis, pernicious anemia, is suspected to have B12 deficiency. Which of the following tests will be most appropriate to confirm that patient is having pernicious anemia? So see, सीरम मिथाइल मेलोनिक एसिड लेवल जो होता है ये बढ़ता है विटामिन B12 डेफिशिएंसी में और पर्निशियस अनीमिया में, दोनों में बढ़ता है. ठीक है. सीरम होमोसिस्टिन लेवल दोनों में बढ़ता है. ठीक है. सो दिस टू आर मार्कर फॉर योर बोथ विटामिन B12 एंड फोलिक एसिड डेफिशिएंसी. कमिंग टू दिस शिलिंग टेस्ट, ये हम पुराने जमाने, अब दिस टेस्ट इज आउटडेटेड, यू कैन से वी डोंट गो फॉर इट, बट ये भी विटामिन B12 के लिए करते थे. सो नाउ दिस IF जो है इंट्रिंसिक फैक्टर एंटीबॉडी टेस्ट, दिस वी डू, दिस इज वेरी स्पेसिफिक फॉर योर pernicious anemia. Pernicious anemia क्या होता है? This is a autoimmune form of disease. Autoimmune form of disease है जिसमें gastric parietal cells की destruction हो रही है. There is auto and there is these, they are very specific to give rise to your this IF antibody test positive. So ये हमें देखना है. तो A और D जो मिथाइल MMA लेवल्स हैं और होमोसिस्टिन लेवल्स हैं, these are for your both, right? मतलब ये दोनों में बढ़ते हैं ये, क्योंकि ये बढ़ते हैं क्योंकि there is an enzymatic reaction for vitamin B12 metabolism. So that you have to read, and so these both are increased in B12 and folic acid. And Schilling test is for vitamin B12, but that is also outdated. So we are left with one option, that is intrinsic factor antibody test. So option is B. So thank you so much for your patient hearing. Kindly like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel Patho with MK. Thank you so much.